At 23, Rio Haryanto has already made history. 8 years into his professional racing career, he is the first Indonesian to make it to the prestigious Formula One circuit.
I didn't really expect this to happen, to get to Formula One. It's been a lot of journey and a lot of hard work to take in, and to be able to just not to represent Indonesia but also to represent Southeast Asia.
Haryanto has amassed a huge following, highlighting a sport that has rarely before captured the attention of Indonesian audiences. Our next stop brings us just outside of Jakarta to catch up with the racing pioneer and one of the country's first international superstars.
Rio Haryanto, welcome to Talk Asia.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
We're just outside Jakarta at a circuit, not a circuit that you're at frequently, but it was a long journey for you from young boy who was interested in motorsport to actually getting to F1. Tell us a bit about that journey.
I started my career when I was 6 years old. At that time, my dad bought me a go-kart, and so I started practicing back then every weekends. And then start to get to the races, firstly in the national championship, and then moving up to the Asian, and then went to the world championship in go-karts when I was 15. And then when I was 16, I started to go to the single-seater. From then onwards, I started to go to Europe for GP3 series and GP2, and now in Formula One. So it's been many years of racing, and in the end to get my dream to come true as a Formula One driver is a great feeling.
Yeah, I've read in many of your interviews how you describe it's almost not real. You can't believe sometimes that this is really your life. Is that how it is?
Every year there's only 22 of them that gets to Formula One. Like maybe a few years ago or even last year I was still watching Formula One on TV, and this year I'm actually racing them.
The government has been hugely supportive of you. How does that make you feel?
I would say I'm really lucky to have the support from the Indonesian government, and I can't thank them enough, because I think without the support from the government, I don't think this would be possible. Because there are a few factors to get to Formula One. Not just only the talent you have, but also the supports from the financial side.
Okay, Rio, we're on a starting grid.
Yeah.
What does it feel like right before a race when you're on the grid and you're ready to go?
I think what goes through my mind is that everything seems to be very quiet, and when I arrive to the starting grid, when I arrive in a grid box, firstly you have to be properly stopped in a grid box, and after that I have to do a couple of switch changes on the steering wheel to be able to prepare the car well, and to prepare the engine, the tires, everything.
So your thought process is really mechanical?
Yes.
Before you get in the car, do you have a pre-race ritual? What does it involve?
Yes, I do normally pray just after, when I get changed to my racing suit on. I would prefer to have just 5 minutes on my own, and started to think about the race and also to pray, and yeah, I think that's my ritual. So 5 minutes on my own, on my room, and getting into the zone.
So your dream is to be world champion, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think it's going to take to get there?
I think it's going to take for sure a few years to get there, especially in Formula One. That teams and the cars makes a huge difference, and I'm working my way up. At the moment I'm in a smaller team, which I learn a lot as well, and I hope that I can get a better team in a few years, and have the chance to fight for the World Championship.
Who are the drivers on the circuit right now, in Formula One at the moment, currently, who, you look at those drivers and you're really impressed by what you see and you think, I want to raise my game?
I think I would say Lewis, because he's been doing really well in the past couple of years. He's been everywhere, like around the world. He's been in Hollywood, he's been in Paris doing festivals, and And he managed that really well. He's a complete, I would say, a racing driver, because he can manage both sides and still not losing the performance while he's in the racetrack. Yeah.
How does it feel to have so many fans? I'm sure that when you go out, you are recognized all over the place, but particularly in your own country.
Well, I started to get used to it, I think, and yeah, I feel I'm enjoying it, and it's great to see the people that is supporting and get to see them right, face to face, and have a bit of a chat and have a bit of a photo taken. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
What would you say to a young, aspiring Indonesian who wants to become a Formula One driver just like you? How do they do it?
My advice would be, you have to have a dream at first. I think all the most successful people success because they have a dreams, and if you do believe in your dream and if you do work hard for it, hopefully if everything goes well, one day you will achieve it.
Just finally, there's this one burning question I had. You told me that you started at age 6. So when you went down to the track when you were 6 years old, did you know you wanted to be a Formula One champion? Was your dad saying, "Go on, son, this is training for the future"? Or was it ever just fun?
At that time it was just fun, but I always wanted to be a racing driver, but I didn't really have a bigger picture how to get there, and how much effort I do need to put in. And as the years goes on, I started to realize that okay, this is it. That one day I really want to be a Formula 1 driver.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a really familiar sound to you, but for me, oh my goodness. Rio, thanks so much.